Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Steady Focused. Guys, this is a big day. I'm here with one of my good friends, a man that I've known for 20 plus years. I'm a veteran to the music world who is about to drop, what we could almost say is the culmination of 20 plus years of hard work with music, Mr. James Cook. I'm so happy to be here with him today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, especially his brand new album that's about to drop, and it is called Tall Tales of a Brown Buffalo. So please help me give a huge, steady, focused welcome to my friend, Mr. James Cook.
He let the words flow from his wasted mind. She wrote a letter there, changed his life. All graceful in the air, you can hear her with the crickets in the night. Pay no attention to those chills down your spine. Always careful with his footsteps on his way to the bed. He knows better than to wake the dead. All doors keep shutting, some coming from the hole, it seems. He's closer to the edge than he cares to be. Well, he knows she's a believer in Jesus and his plan. He'll do right with what's left of her sins. Oh, he knows everyone says she's gone. He knows there's no such thing as ghosts, no such thing as ghosts. 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 He's carrying crosses, he's whispering prayers. He's sweeping from the hometown and the night's cold air. All the things you'll see in the center of the living room floor. He's ready for the thunder. She's coming with a roll, and he knows she's a and his plan. He'll do right with what's left of her sins. Oh, he knows everyone says she's gone. Oh, he knows there's no such thing as ghosts, no such thing as ghosts. No such thing as ghost. No such thing as ghost. No such thing as ghost. no, no, no. Oh. Thank you so much, man. Hey, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, James, where are we? What are we in right now?
We are in my pop-up camper, which I had to kind of check out anyways because I'll be doing some album releases in Amarillo, Lubbock, Midland, Fort Worth, a few other places. So I suggested, hey, while I'm checking it out, maybe you can come by and yeah, this is what I'll be staying in. This little bad boy,
man.
It's fun.
It's life on the road.
Yeah,
know?
Definitely. It's a little bit better than just sleeping in my Tahoe.
There you go. And you get, some people that maybe are in the music world that don't understand it. It's like some nights you stay in a hotel, some nights you sleep on someone's floor, some tours you're in a pop-up camper.
This is an advancement, to be honest with you. So I've done the people have walked around in RVs and stuff like that, and I've toured with other bands that do that, and so it's always pretty cool. But I wanted something of my own, and I've done this before, and this is it's a real steady camper, and it pops right up, and it's real easy to use. So.
And when you're out on the RV, that costs money, right? I mean, it's like, I don't know, it just crosses my mind. Like, some people don't realize, like, when you see a band that's going down the road in one of those huge, that's coming out of their pocket that they could be taking home to their family.
Yeah.
But they're choosing to do that. So, anyway.
You always have to find, with each advancement that you make, you have to find out where you are and what you're going to need next. And I definitely need to make sure the band's taken care of for the next show. And so I've got to... all of it, food, everything. We just want to make sure we're okay on the road. It's not that hard. Plus, I tour with guys that they've slept in their cars too. So it's
I've done that, dude.
Yeah,
it was probably about 20 years ago, dude, that I was on stage with you. You were in a band called Shiva. Yeah, that was when I had first met you, and I remember super charismatic frontman, great voice, and We've grown up over the 20 years, but now here we are again, and I have the honor of interviewing you. And so I'd reached out to you a while back about wanting to bring you on the show to talk about being steady focused, putting in the work, being dedicated to something. For you, why? Why do you keep showing up, Yeah,
I think somebody asked me that question when I was getting a little bit, when I was, I don't know, late 20s. I think it was my brother, and I just realized... the guys that I really respected, they didn't look at it as an age limit. They looked at it as, well, you're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing this forever.
Okay.
I'll talk to musicians. That's my favorite thing. And something will go wrong with their life, or something will happen where they just didn't like the way that their music career went. And they'll kind of say, I'm closing it up. I'm just going to stop doing it. And then I always tell them, I'll see you in about 4 months. Okay. Because it's hard. You want to be passionate about something. And I always found music to be something that came naturally. So I knew that it was going to always be a part of my life. At this time in my life, though, I really wanted to give it a lot more effort than I'd been giving. And I just didn't think that anybody was able to see the full potential of what I had to offer. So for the past few years, I've been as focused as possible, no excuses, just get at it as much as possible and see where your music abilities can go. And I still don't think I've tapped into all of it, even with this album, which I love this album. But I still want to, you want to push with everything. The next thing you do, you want to make sure it's better than the last thing you did. So
it feels like that there is this recommitment, resurgence of you, and this build up to Tall Tales of a Brown Buffalo, and just kind of talking with you over the last few days, the passion in you, and almost like this this fire of you told me, if I can say this, hopefully you don't mind, that you may not release a full album again. It kind of crossed your mind. You might do short things, and it felt like very powerful to hear you say that. And then as watching you listen to the music, I know how hard you've poured yourself into it. So what does this album mean to you, man?
This album means, first the album first started as something live to give the people, because I recorded the last album, which was a concept album, and it was a little somber. was a little dark. Well, most of my stuff's dark. But whenever the people would go to the live show, they would see this band going crazy. The guy started writing some music that was a little more upbeat, fun for a live show. It would definitely get you dancing or get you up, feeling it emotionally. And so when people go to the show, they would ask for an album, and I'd say, well, there's my album right there. It'd be 5 songs, and they're all about the end of the world. Mm-hmm. So it didn't really represent what we were doing live. So initially I came into the studio saying to myself, well, I'm going to make an album. It'll be a live feel. So it started simple. But then, I don't know, I started listening to my old albums, my favorite albums. I realized what I was doing, where I was in my life. I realized what I always wanted to do, which was by myself make this album that everything on it I could be proud of. So at the end of recording the basics, I realized I wanted to go back and touch up and really make an album, something that I would be proud of, or something that I would be interested in when it was all said and done. And the live feel, the band really accomplished that. But then all the embellishments were people that I just met on the road. Either met on the road or Fort Worth sound knew. So I was getting a really good collective sound of people that I knew. But that's what the album meant. I think it grew. What it means, the album means to me, is something that grew with every month or with every advancement that we'd make on the album. It meant something different. I'd throw something else in there. You look at your favorite albums of all time. I'd look at my favorite albums of all time, and I realized that some of them didn't really just rely on the band. They wanted the band as a whole to create something big. So I wanted to create something big. So
you achieved that, dude. It is big. It feels huge, but at the moments where, if just from the few tracks you've played for me already, and then I heard of your kind of the teaser that went out, it feels like that, man. And then there are kind of more quiet times, but it's still intense. Like it's powerful. There you go. It's very powerful.
Wanted to make sure that you felt something.
Yeah.
I think that's what we talked about this earlier, which was sometimes I couldn't tell you other songs from a band, but if that band had one album that I really dug, I would love that band. Yeah. But I probably didn't follow them after the album, or I didn't really get into a lot of their music after that one, like Modest Mouse. Okay. Good News for People to Love Bad News.
Yeah.
I love that album. I can listen to it a billion times in a row. Just this one of those first song to last song, you just let it ride.
Yeah.
But after that, I couldn't really tell you their music. Weezer, the Blue Album, Mars Volta, Deloused, and the Comatorium. These are all bands that when I hear them, I go, great music. But if you were to ask me about there's one album that really spoke to me. So I realized that I personally just love a good album. And I think that's what I'm trying to accomplish with this. And I think that's why I told you I don't know how many more albums I could possibly do.
Yeah. What does it feel like? Because you put in so much of yourself. So much.
Yeah.
All the emotions, the highs, the lows. Oh, my God, I just got this great riff. I'm writing it. To let's find a place to record. To let's get the musicians. To let's master. Let's all of that. And then it's done. What does that feel like?
I guess I won't know until the album's actually in my hand. We're still recording this where the album's not in my hand.
Okay,
so it's one of those things. Yeah, it's not really finished yet. Until I hold it in my hand, that's when it's like, wow, that's weird. All because right. when I finally sent off to Bart Rose, who produced the album, the final email that said, "We're done." That was a weird moment because one of the songs on there is over 15 years old. And it just never really was done. It was a bluesy song that I wrote with some old band members. And actually, I wrote the whole song by myself, but when we played it with Chiva.
Okay.
And Romero Noriega from Chiva is actually the lead guitarist on the song. I went and found him. He's doing other things now. He's playing with Back in Black, that DC tribute band. I got him to come into the studio to record just because it meant something to me. So I grabbed old songs. I grabbed newer songs. And the whole album, I wanted it to be a personal thing. Even if all the lyrics didn't have to do with me, I wanted to make sure that I was in there somehow. Either a lyric that had to do with more me than the actual character, or just the passion behind it. It needed to all say me at the end of it. And me with the help of some incredible musicians. But yeah.
But you played a huge role in producing this. So you had Bart Rose, Fort Worth Sound, working with you. You guys came together, and he's a great engineer and all of this. But you personally, talk about influencing the way even people did a countdown to on their music, like what you were talking about on the recording, like say it again.
Yeah, when we first started, Bart would nitpick at little things. That sounds like a negative thing, but that's not.
You want that.
You want that on
you
an
gotta
album.
Have that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he would go through little moments that I think were normal. Most musicians would get frustrated with, but I did not. I loved this mentality of that's not right. Let's go back till we get it just right. So when we did that, I realized, oh, that's perfect, because that's how I've worked my whole life. But it's really hard to convey that to other musicians. The older you get, the better you are at conveying what you want. Mm-hmm. So when I was working on the production, there'd be little moments that I knew would have to hit, or I thought in my head, this is a moment. This isn't just part of the song. This is a part where hopefully they'll remember. Romero Noriega, I'll go to the story real quick.
There you go.
When I used to hang out with him back in the day, we would listen to music in the car, and he would crank it up, and he would say, listen to this part right here. It'd be a little bitty moment. And most people would either just not even think of it or disregard it. But to him, it was the whole song, man. This is the whole song, is this little moment. Yeah. And so that always is in my head, of these little moments that I don't care if anybody else really gets it. I listen to this part right here, crank it up, this little moment. So whenever we were in the studio, I had that mentality of these little moments that need to really hit. Romero, when he was in the studio, there was one moment toward the outro that the guitars are ringing. It's just it's big. It's a big guitar moment. And I needed the guitar to not only be loud, I needed it to shake, and I needed it to sound fierce, so that when my vocals come in, it matches with the guitar, and it's just this powerful outro. We did that take, it had to be like 10 times, just over and over. It was just one little moment. Yeah. Tim, my bassist, I'm sure he didn't like, there's a song called Ellie where all he does is count. All he does is say 1, 2, 3, 4, and he did like 5, 6 takes, and it just got funnier the more he would do it, because he was like, "You really just gonna make me do this? Yeah. All I'm doing is counting." But I needed, and what was worse was I needed it to sound a certain way. But I told him, don't even face the mic.
Oh, wow.
I was like, like it's some dude in the background.
Yeah. Okay.
Leon Russell, and a song, I can't remember what it is right now, but a song with Joe Cocker, Cry Me a River. If you listen to the very end, he does a count, and you can't even really hear him. To me, it's the entire song.
Wow.
It's the best part of the song, is you can barely hear him, and if you have to crank it up and kind of listen for it. But and it's from hanging out with guys that love little moments in the song and love to point them out, and I'm somebody who also enjoys that, and I want that in a song.
So you've now probably 15 years you've been a radio personality. You were in the Buzz, the rock station in Wichita Falls, and then you went to the Outlaw, which is kind of Texas country.
Yes.
Red dirt. How has that influenced you and matured you to the point where now here we are with Tall Tales of a Brown Buffalo?
It got me to understand how music works a little bit. The Buzz was more just fun for me. I just had a blast. Somebody tells you all these weird thoughts you've ever had. You get to shine, and that was an awesome time in my life. I don't get that time back, the years I was with the Buzz, but I absolutely love those years, because there's no way I could say half of the stuff that I used to get away with on the Buzz nowadays. But and then I went to the Outlaw, which made me understand a little bit more how to get a little bit more organized with what I was doing and focused. Yeah. But not only that, once I started playing with those musicians, it was a lot more comfortable for me than rock. I think with rock, when I was in rock, it was always a persona that I had to be, which I never really felt comfortable with, or a sound that I needed to create, which again, I never really felt comfortable with. And like I told you, one of the songs is called I'll Be Damned.
Yeah.
It's a bluesy tune. I showed that to Chiva. Remember, Chiva was a rock band.
Yes.
So it was like, and the name of that song to the band was called The Blues Song, because we'd never played a blues song.
Okay.
So Romero would make fun of me for making seventh notes. You're just always trying to play that blues. So I always felt comfortable in blues, rock and roll. And then I got on the station and I listened to country, and then I listened to songwriters. And it was so familiar to me in what I was already doing that it was an easy adaptation to where I was going. I didn't have leather pants to keep up the rock persona. So it was easier for me to get into this songwriter world, which I was already in.
Okay.
But it was a cool scene to discover, but to discover how to keep it organized and how to build a fan base and all that other stuff. It's a little easier now, no matter what genre you're in. It's a little bit more focused. You have the ability to get focused. Okay. Some people don't take it, but you have a lot more abilities to get focused and to learn more nowadays.
So what does it feel like now that you are at this point in your career, and you talked about some of your heroes, and just hearing their words about, I'm going to be doing this forever, and you're at this point in your career. Are there major expectations you have right now, or do you kind of feel at peace, or what's going on mentally? Does it feel like, man, it's a good time, whatever it is, or is it like, by damn, if XYZ doesn't happen, I'm going to flip out? Like, what goes through your mind right now at this big moment in your life?
I think I've calmed down a little bit from if this, and this doesn't happen. I have anxieties all the time, though, that I don't really, I try not to wear. I try not to keep them there. I try to make sure that I stay focused on the fact that you're going to do this no matter what.
Okay.
All you can do is the best you can do, and hustle and do what you can to be as good as possible at it, and to be recognized for it, and to have people hear it, because that's the main goal, right? You just want people to hear what you have to offer. So the feelings differ. If you were to ask me that question 2 weeks ago, I'd tell you, like, dude, I'm a wreck.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
You know what I'm talking about? Just, it goes back and forth. It's not a steady thing. I hate to say the title, but I am steady focused. It's remembering, just stay focused.
There you go.
That gives you peace almost.
Okay.
The fierce attitude and the hustle, if it's constant and you're doing just the best you can, there's some sort of peace in that. And so I feel peaceful knowing that I'm going to be able to I'm doing the best I can.
Okay.
And I'm giving the best I can to people that listen to my music. And that's all you can really do. But as for emotions, man, it differs. I don't know if it's me personally, if it's the artist side. You know what I'm talking about, totally, the artistic side. You're opening up yourself.
Yes.
And you're showing people a piece of you. So that gets a little nerve-wracking, especially if you're revealing yourself in music. And I've always done that, whether people have known it or not. I've always done that. I've always been very revealing.
So talk about, you got a lot of shows coming up, man. You're going to be doing a lot of road time. Do you love the road? Do you hate it? How does it feel?
I think it's a back and forth thing.
Okay.
When you're on, it's definite. When you're on the road, you can't wait to be home. When you're home, you just want to get back on the road. In this camper, all I can think about is how cool it's going to be whenever I get out of town.
Yeah.
And go hang out. And then there's a lot of downtime. You're just sitting there, kind of, waiting for the show. And that's not bad, because you can utilize your time. I try to make sure I'm either reading or writing something else. I try not to get caught up, although I know I do, in social media. But figuring out what you're going to do with your time, thinking about the show. I like talking about the show and what we're going to do tonight, what's going to be a little different. Those things my band probably hates me for.
Yeah. Well,
because last minute I'll go, let's change that whole thing real quick and let's make sure we do this instead. And trust me, this will be awesome.
Yeah.
And luckily I have guys that are very forgiving of that attitude. But it's thinking about getting out there is exciting. Thinking about staying home is exciting to me. I guess that's why I try to make sure there's a good balance, like we were talking about earlier about balance in life.
Yes.
And, I love being home with my family. This weekend I didn't have anything, because I know that the next few months.
It's about to get crazy.
Yeah, it's about to get nuts. So I had one more good weekend with them. We put this pop-up camper. Me and the kids been hanging out here all weekend long. We've been playing games inside the house and getting chores still done, because that's got to get done also. And making sure the family life feels like a family life, and then get ready to hustle. Luckily, when you have a family the whole family, including my wife and the kids, are so supportive.
There you go.
And they're so big on what I'm doing. And I hope that I hope that teaches them something,
Okay.
just to be supportive in life
Okay.
of the people you love and what they're doing. So, but
Well,
yeah, I'm just pretty excited.
going down that road, man. Like, so I just recently went through a book. It's called "Unfuck Yourself" by Gary John Bishop. It's so good, man, and it's just a lot of diving deep into our brain, unpacking a lot of stuff. And then he goes, like, the final chapter of this book, for me, is one of the best chapters I've ever read of any book. And you know, he goes into the realization, which I've heard a million times and I know it, but we're all going to die. Own it, accept it. What are you going to do with it now? You know, so, you know, you're talking about your family, and what does James want to be remembered for? You know, like, yeah, what do you want on your tombstone? Like, what do you want this passion that you've burned so brightly?
You know, it's weird because you want to do the best you can and hope you leave something. And so whenever I think about, because you think about that, you know what I'm saying? You start thinking about what are you going to leave the world? So it lets you focus on other things, like charitable stuff, stuff with your family. I always try to leave a little bit of a message for my kids daily on how they should conduct themselves. So, and I think we all do as parents. You know what I mean? You're just trying to make sure that they're left with something, because you don't know when it's going to happen. And I think that's the hardest part. I don't know why my brain goes there, but I can't leave this house for a weekend of shows without, like, giving that, this could be it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's because you're on the road. You're driving all the time. You see wrecks up and down the road, and you think to yourself, like, I'm driving in all hours of the night. You don't know what's going to happen. So I think of these things. I don't know. I guess I try to, and I've tried a lot more these past few years because of years that maybe I wasn't as selfless as I should have been. I try to make sure that I'm there for a lot more of my friends and the people that I love. Because, I don't know, you're just a little bit, you're just a little bit of life. You know that you're going to die. So what do you do in between then? And I don't think that I don't want to think too much of that part as much as, did I make sure that I live the moment that I realize you're going to die?
Yeah.
Are you, the two rules that I have: work hard and be cool to others.
Work hard and be cool to others. That's great.
Yeah, there's only two rules I teach my kids.
That's good. So dude, I love that.
Something happens in their life, I just ask them, which one of those two things did you not do here? And it's usually be cool to others. If you're ugly to another person, if you're just not working, just work hard and be cool to others. I got two rules. That's it. Anything else in life you can do, as long as you work hard and be cool to others.
I love that, dude. I really like that.
Yeah. So I just try to live by those two sentences with everything I do. And like we were talking about earlier, once I made that decision, and it was having kids, you just look at yourself and, I'm going to say some stuff to the kids. Am I being that person? Okay. Am I being a hypocrite in it? Okay. So am I working hard and being cool to others? And then every day you got to work at that. Work hard, be cool to others. Everything you're working at. So you just try to make sure you fall in line there. And I think I can go peacefully and not really worry too much about what I left. Hopefully, the music is what you leave. Okay. Because let's face it, man. The hardest part of my life is realizing all I make is air. You know what I'm saying? For 15 years, if you were to look at my body of work and DJ, you really can't unless I recorded it. Okay. Unless somebody retells me a joke I said once. It's all just air. So on my morning show, I used to really, just insult everybody and everything when I first started. And then I realized it's probably better, especially as you get older. It's the first thing they're hearing in the morning. It's probably good if they wake up in a good mood. It's kind of good if you're in a good mood. Okay. Stop hating on stuff. Don't be like that. And so it changed my show. It changed how I talk on the radio. It changed who I was on the radio. And that's a message that I send. I love waking up in the mornings and getting to get someone started on their day. And I love the fact that I'm on the station I'm on. Yeah. To be honest with you, because I'm not tired of the music. I love the new stuff that comes in. I love hearing artists from around there. I know so many of the artists, so it's so good when they give me something. I'm like, dude, this was good.
How does that, being in that world, how does it help you business wise? I mean, is it a good business move if someone's like, man, I want to keep pushing it out there. I'll go join a radio station. Do you recommend it? I mean, has it been good for you? It seems like it would be great for networking.
There's a lot of country artists and just artists that were DJs before.
Yeah, okay.
So they understood the business a little bit better, and it helped them with their careers. Of course, I would recommend it. But the thing that scares me about it is because I see other guys in the state or that have this similar thing, and they use it a little. They use it a little bit.
We're in this. Hold on.
Trying to get all Miyagi with this thing.
Yeah, right. Always.
Oh, now you're over there just chilling.
Yeah. We gotta fly in the studio.
So I see other people kind of use it and not use it and use it too much to their advantage. So I get nervous about it because I don't want to be perceived as somebody who uses his station. I think, as a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever played. If I play one of my songs, I play like 5 times a week, maybe. Yeah. And that's not anything. Usually songs get about 40 rotations or whatever. I get maybe 5. And it's, even if my song was doing great, which a couple of them have, I just don't feel.
You don't want to be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy. I want to earn merit through other DJs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be like, well, I'm so good. Let's just play me all day long. Plus, I'm on the radio already. They don't need to hear me any more than they have to. So I utilize it, I utilize it in the sense that I find out a little bit more than most artists would, which I try to turn around and make sure other artists know what I know. Because we talked about this, like when I was first starting, nobody told me what I needed to do next.
Right. Okay. Talk about this.
And so it was frustrating to try to figure, where am I supposed to go? Am I supposed to make an album? Where do I make the album? How do I make it? Who do I make it with? Nobody told me anything. There was no Facebook to look online and be like, oh, that guy recorded there, I'll go record there. Oh, that guy did that there, I'll go do that there. So I'm learning online. You learn online. And then I learned through radio of hanging out with the other musicians. So it's a good thing, but in the same sense, it's something that I make sure with all that power, I don't try to overuse it.
Yeah.
Or use it for anything negative, or just get that reputation. That's the worst thing.
Oh, there you go.
You're only as good as your reputation to most of these musicians.
Okay.
And I try to make sure that I'm not taking advantage of it. But the good thing is, I get to hear music before a lot of DJs.
There you go.
Because I'm going out and I'm playing with them, and I do song swabs.
Yeah.
And I heard Randall King. These are some artists that you might not know about, but these are huge artists in the Texas music scene.
Okay.
And I saw that guy at a songwriter competition. Met him. We hung out. As a matter of fact, Randall and me were both battling it out for whoever would win this competition. We were both the last ones called. We had a tie. And man, I got to know him that night. Later on, he sent me music. Loved him. Mm-hmm. One of the first dudes from that scene that I put on the station. And then after that, he just started blowing up, so it was easier. I already had a foot in. I already knew the guy. And I love finding musicians like that, even ones that aren't looking for radio play. They want something else, which is understandable.
Okay. Such as?
Finding an underground audience, finding an audience that's strictly Spotify, not having to do the radio scene.
Is radio still relevant?
Yes.
Is it?
This is a back and forth. To me, it's like somebody saying, is local news relevant?
Okay.
Is TV relevant? Yeah, TV's relevant. Computers are relevant.
Okay.
Radio's relevant. Spotify's relevant.
Okay.
It's just different avenues.
Okay.
Like when people say, I think that's because most people wonder, should I advertise with radio or something like that? And I always go, yeah, why wouldn't you? This is a one slot. People are definitely listening. Even if it's not as much as it was last year, which from what I've gathered from stats, it's actually back on the rise.
Okay.
But radio can give you something that Spotify can't, which is local information.
There you go.
And musicians that you might not know about, and local personalities that know what your interests are. Mm-hmm. You grab something from Spotify, some guy in California is telling you what to like.
Okay.
I'm not letting, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'd love to hear what's cool in California, but I'd love to hear also what's cool around here. And I think that's why my station or stations like it do really well right now, because you get a sense of what these are musicians that are coming around.
Yeah.
When I was with the Buzz, we would take like once a year, I'd see some band, once a year, and maybe I got to interview them.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's
very
frustrating.
Rare, very rare.
I started with the Outlaw. 3 a week. You know what I mean? Three interviews a week. 2 of those guys are playing in town that week. That was what I'd been waiting for. And then you go to the shows, and they're great, entertaining shows. And I was somebody who, I've always been somebody, I thought, even though I didn't listen to country as much as I do now, I always wanted to hear good music. Just good music. Just give it to me. It doesn't matter if it's death metal. It doesn't matter if it's country. It didn't matter if it was rap. People that make fun of certain genres of music, I could never understand it, because every genre has somebody good in that genre.
That is true.
And I always wonder why they'll say rap is crap. Really? You've never listened to good rap then? I feel so bad for people that think country's bad when they're only comparing it to what they're hearing at that moment.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like, come over to the house, man. I got some great country for you. Yeah. Sit down with me. We're going to listen to some really good stuff.
I'm from an interviewer point of view. You've interviewed a bunch of people, a lot of people. What's maybe one of your biggest mistakes that you've made as an interviewer? Because I enjoy interviewing, and I screw up, and I'm like, why did I do that? Well, earlier today when I was setting the cameras up, one of my memory cards.
That's small,
up.
buddy. That's
tell me, like, what's something that you're like?
Well, okay, I can tell you 2 off the top of my head.
All right.
That I know about.
You know about.
That I can remember off the top of my head.
Right.
One was I was talking to the lead singer of Papa Roach.
Okay.
And I called him Jacoby Shaddix.
Okay.
It's Jacoby Shaddix.
Oh,
and he never once corrected me. He was the nicest guy. I'm not lying. One of the things I remember was how I was like, man, that guy's nice. Is he the lead singer for Papa Roach? Talked to this dude from Wichita Falls. He was so cool. And afterwards, he said, hey, James, you should watch my new show on MTV. And I said, oh, cool. So I immediately go YouTube this. And it says Jacoby, like the first thing it says Jacoby. Okay. And I was like, did he tell me that because he realized I was saying his name wrong? And then there was Stained, the lead singer for Stained, Aaron Lewis. Got to talk with him. He was coming to Wichita Falls. And toward the end of the conversation, I said, well, this has got to be weird, man. You're back with the original band after all these years on hiatus. And I got that information from Wikipedia, which never do that.
Okay.
And he goes, man, I don't know what you're talking about. It's been the same lineup ever since we started. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Okay.
And those are just 2 that I could think of off the top of my head.
Well, how do you prepare for an interview?
It differs.
Yeah.
Back then, they didn't come around. I wasn't constantly knowing who they were. In some bands, I just knew better than other bands. So I'd Wikipedia, which I got to say, when I was doing that interview, this was around the time where I'd go, oh, there's a place where all this information is. And then around then, they started saying, don't listen to all that. That's not always a great information or a great place to get information. So I do that, or I try to listen to some of the music that they're releasing now. It's a little bit easier with the scene I'm in now because it's an uprising scene, the Texas country music scene, even that it had a lull right when I was first starting with it. But you get to see artists grow, so you kind of know this is all about them there. You're watching them grow. Mm-hmm. You hear, DJs from, again, California or New York who are in with these bands that are famous rock bands. Well, they know them when they were nobodies. We get them when they're somebodies. Mm-hmm. So these artists that I'm discovering now, we're finding them at the beginning of their careers.
Watch them develop.
Yeah, so you just kind of know. Some interviews I don't even do anything. I just go in there and just start talking with them because I know everything I know about the guy. And I'm a musician as well, so I kind of ask things that I think they're going to want to ask, or they're going to want to be asked.
Well, we've got a big weekend coming up for you, right? This is the release of Tall Tales of a Brown Buffalo.
Yes.
So just hit me with a little bit. What's going to be going on this weekend, and what do you got going on the rest of this month?
November 9th, which is also my birthday.
Sweet.
So it's and honestly, when I was looking at the dates, this was back in September or August, and I said, let's do it in November. Let's do it on my birthday because I didn't realize that it was on a Friday. But we've got 2 of my they're so talented and my favorite people in this town. Hazel and Sej from Ground Floor and Rising. They're going to open up the night. Then Clint Vines and the Hard Times. Those are a bunch of my just friends that I've known from various bands. Plus, I'm real cool with Clint. He's a great songwriter, great mind when he writes his tunes. And they're coming up right now. They're going to open the night. Ground Floor is going to do a set. Clint Vine's going to do a quick set. And then we jump on around 10:30, a little bit afterwards, and we've created a night where it starts and then it grows and then it grows. And I mean, musicians join us on stage, and then we just continuously get big till the end of the night when we're going to have some fun. And that end set is just me wanting to just have a good time. I mean, the whole night is hopefully a good time for them. But it's not going to be a somber one. It's going to be energetic, in your face. Let's have a great night. And you get a taste of the album and what we're trying to create from the album. And the moments, that's something I really have loved doing, because there's moments that you can create with the music that I'm doing now. A nice, energetic in your face, and then bring it back down and have a nice little moment with my wife comes on stage, which I love it when she comes on stage. I am very lucky. Just last night, we were on that porch in the backyard singing Linda Ronstadt. Oh, and she was jamming, having a good time. And I've never gotten to do that in my life. It's so much fun. So, that's going to be fun. Ground Floor and Rising are to join us on stage. We've got some keyboards. We've got some a saxophone, which is all just stuff from the album that we added from the album. So it'll all be there, and hopefully I don't go broke for the rest of my life having to pay for all that. But it'll be fun. The main thing is to create something. Okay. Paying for it, I'll worry about that later. Okay. Yeah. I'll worry about that later.
So if you're out there and you can hear this, you watch this, there is going to be an amazing show, Iron Horse.
Without a doubt.
On November 9th.
This will be the best show that I've ever put on. Wow. If anybody's ever come to my show and be like, man, James has done a show, you've never seen what I'm wanting to do now. What I'm wanting to do right here, right now is the best thing. That's not an advertisement. That's just a fact.
That's reality.
Yeah, it's a reality of what I've done. I'm better at what I've acoustically, songwriting. This is the best I've been. As for the musicianship and the musicians I'm working with, these are the best. I mean, these are phenomenal musicians who are really, really tight. They've been working on this set for a while now. With all these extras that we're adding in, it just only adds to the night. And the excitement of a live video and having you come out.
Oh, yeah. P.S. We're going to be recording. Yeah, we're going to have
There's going to be a live video?
Yeah, we're going to be recording that night. So it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. My birthday's Monday.
Oh,
so
yes.
We're going to be celebrating
Scorpio.
too. Come on. Yeah,
that's
so
what I'm talking about.
I'll be celebrating. Well, and Brittany's going to be out there with me. We're going to have some guys help me shoot some videos. So it's going to be awesome. Like, I'm going to be celebrating my birthday as well.
Definitely.
So I'm excited.
Stacy's already celebrated her, but she celebrates another one with me.
Sweet. There you go. When is her birthday?
It was actually November 1st, last Thursday.
Perfect.
So she celebrates the whole week.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. The bands that are opening are two of my favorite bands from around here, and great, solid music. It's a full night of incredible music.
Yeah,
those bands are...
It's awesome.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Great night. It's a great night. So if you guys are out and about, make sure you do not miss this. It's going to be a special moment in time. And P.S., it just happens to be in Wichita Falls, Texas.
Yeah,
so it's really
definitely
cool. James, final thoughts, man. Anything else that's on your mind you want to share? You want to talk about?
The album, I wouldn't mind talking about the album and saying that this is some of the best musicians. If you're listening to us in Wichita Falls, Jason Brown from A Bottom, Romero Noriega, Christopher Brackett's, Damon Harris, Tim Maloney, all these dudes are on the album. Ground Floor and Rising, some of the best musicians from Fort Worth. I just want to say I'm extremely lucky to have done everything I've ever done in life, and extremely lucky to get to work with people that I've worked with in my life. I mean, including yourself. There's not a day that goes by where I just don't realize, man, I'm one of the luckiest people on this planet. So, all of that, and anybody who's ever listened to my music or who's just known me, I would love for them to come out and just enjoy this one night with me. So, that's basically it.
Where can people find you online if they want to check out some of your music?
JamesCookMakesMusic.com.
There you go.
So you can find it right there.
All right, guys. So it's been an honor. I'm so thankful to to have been able to sit down with James and have this talk. So, yeah, check it out. I'll be there November 9th. It's going to be an awesome time, and look forward to seeing you guys there. So until next time, I'm your host. I'm your number one, Mr. SimeonHendrix, and this is Steady Focused.
Biggie had a neck tattoo, leather boots, and a brown truck built for two. Beth done left the man in Galveston and decided to head up north. Oh, she took that gun, crossed her crimson lips. Let's have fun. Ooh, let them run now. Damn it, don't you slip, you better run. She could play a mean guitar, have them all screaming near and far. But at the mall, he tied up the manager, cleared the register, tipped his waitress well. All they split their pay both ways, no fame, no shine. Oh, there ain't no way they'll ever get caught up in that game. Let them run, they just wanna have a little fun. Let them run, damn it, don't you slip, you better run. Let them roll, all them slot machines are fixed. Let them roll. You would think he'd pass out when he slammed down that clear Kentucky shine. My oh my, Beth done raised the skirt too high one too many times, and now it's on. Yeah, it's on. We get to the money and told his baby, honey, no girl, you better bite your tongue. Told him that she had it with a semi-automatic. Only thing is bad in this dust. Let them run. They just wanna have a little fun. Let them run. Damn it, don't you slip, you better run. Let them roll, oh, them slot machines are fixed, so let them roll. All right.